Liberty Home Mortgage, Hesh Sagafi. Is the housing industry crashing, and why is this so important? It's so important because there's so many people out there looking to buy a house, and the questions that they're having is it a good time to buy? Interest rates are higher than they were 12 months ago. They were a lot higher, okay? Now, interest rates go up, interest rates go down. The place that we're in a very good place now is I think interest rates have somewhat topped off, even though the Federal Reserve might be raising the Fed funds rate a couple more times. But overall, I don't think there's any chance on the planet Earth we see the 8s, 9s, and 10s. And if you watch my videos from October, it was like, hey, that's kind of on the radar. Let me give you some data. Let me give you some facts, which is how I always speak, okay? A lot of what I speak is based on experience, but more of what I speak is based on facts. Let's start with this one here. This is an article from Bloomberg, as a matter of fact, okay? It's from Bloomberg.com. Homes sell below list price in the US for the first time since March of 2021. That's not such a horrible title, but you know, it starts giving you the thoughts, okay, oh my God, are the prices, is there a problem in housing? Should I even get into housing? Okay, so for the first time in a few years, home prices, or you could actually buy a house for list price, if not below list price, okay? Now, there's a lot of houses out there. I got news for you. Supply is the number one issue in 2023. It's going to be the number one issue in 23. I think supply is going to be the number one issue in 2024 and for some time to come after that. Because of that reason, there's going to be a lot of houses out there still that get multiple offers. You have to come in $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 over list price. Who knows, if you have an ocean view, you have to come in higher than that. So the right house in the right neighborhood that's perfect for everyone is still going to go over list price, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But there are going to be a lot of situations out there that you can get in for asking price or even just a little bit below asking price. This data here, which actually is from Redfin, shows that since January for the first time now, near the end of 2022, the average home in America is selling for just under the list price of the home, whereas for about a year and a half or so, they were selling actually above the list price as an average goes, okay? So that's one thing for you there. Here's a topic that'll scare everybody, okay? US foreclosure activity doubles annually, but it's still below pre-pandemic levels, okay? That title would scare the daylights out of anybody watching it, but what does it really mean, okay? The number of foreclosures in the United States in 2022 was around 324,000, okay? In 2021, it was around 150,000, so everybody's like, oh my God, it's double, it's double. True, it's doubled from 2021. At the same time, let's do this one. It's still lower than 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, going all the way back to 2005. If my little chart went before 2005, it's probably below those numbers also, okay? So foreclosure activity is still near record lows as far as that goes. You're always going to have foreclosures. You're always going to have people losing jobs, sickness, divorce, health issues, whatever. You're always going to have that. So don't buy into the news when you see these headlines that say US foreclosure activity doubles, home prices are falling. Well, let's talk about delinquency rates. This is from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. The St. Louis Federal Reserve gives a lot of great housing data, okay? Let's talk about delinquency rates on mortgages. As of the end of 2022, delinquency rates on mortgages are in the 2% range, okay? That's the lowest it's been since 2006, 2003. So in the last 20 years, the delinquency rate on loans is nearing record lows. When you start looking at what was the delinquency rate on mortgages at its peak, you were at a peak of almost 13%. I'm looking down at my chart around 2008, 9, 10. So delinquency rates were super high back then, but that's because the loans given 3 to 4 to 5 years earlier were definitely much more aggressive, in which the guidelines were wide open for a lot more people to qualify. That today, and for the last 16 years, we can't qualify those people. Let's look at the median sales price of a home. Median sales price of a home. Right now in early 2023, it's around the $360,000 mark. Maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher, right around $360,000. So if you're sitting here saying, I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer, I've got news for you. Because of a low supply of housing that will remain this entire year, next year, and probably some years to come, because of a low supply and very strong demand. That's just a fact. Demand ain't going anywhere, it's not going down, okay? Because of that, a home that you buy today with a ridiculously high probability is gonna be a teeny tiny bit more in a year from now. Now here's something for you. Let's just pretend I'm completely wrong about that, and I could be wrong about that. I don't have a crystal ball. Let's go back in time to the year 2006 and 7 and see if you bought at the peak of house prices in 2007, how were you doing? Well, from 2007 to 2009, property values, the median sales price of a home pulled back more. But by 2011, 12, and 13, only 3 to 4 to 5 years later, houses were selling for more than you would have paid at the peak in 2007, and the bottom in 2008 and 9 was the absolute peak of the Great Recession. Why is that so important? Simple. The Great Recession was the greatest recession that we've ever seen since the Great Depression. So if I tell you that you bought just before everything crashed in the biggest pullback in our nation's history next to the Great Depression, you'd have thought your property value was down for 10 to 20 years. Do you want to know something? It was down for anywhere from 2 to 5 years. And within 2 to 5, somewhere in that window, you were actually worth more than you were when you previously paid. That's why I keep telling people today, if you get in now, is there going to be a little bit more pullback? Of course, the market and the economy is not in the best place on the planet right now. But over the next 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years, you end up winning, not counting the fact, go rent for the next 2 to 5 years and let me know how good that does for you. I have all of this data, all of these statistics, the facts are the facts. It is a great time to get into a house, especially if you're a first-time home buyer and you don't have some gigantic down payment, you need some closing costs from the seller or something like that. And by the way, if you own a home, it is a great time to sell because facts are facts. The price you're gonna sell your house for today with a ridiculously high probability is significantly higher than you'd have sold it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, okay? So pay attention. I keep following my videos. Subscribe, and share these on your pages. Feel free to comment. If you have opinions, I take them all and I listen to all of them. So hope to catch you on the next one. Thanks so much.